Hey Bookends! Welcome to this week's 10-minute book review. I'm 10. So for this week's book review, we're going to be doing Four Dead Queens by Astrid Scholte. So we like to start off each one of our videos with each one of our reviews with a star point. Like out of 10 stars, how many stars did this book garner? And if it was a movie, what would it be rated? So out of 10 stars, this gets a whopping 1 star because it was horrible. Yeah, it was just, well, I'll go into what made it horrible during the review, but yeah, it was horrible. For a rating, I would say a PG-13 only because, you know, there's deaths in it that are a little explicit, and so perhaps a child under the age of 13 might be scared by it. So going right into it, the main player in this book is Kira Lee, called Kira for short. She is a pickpocket or dipper and the protege of someone by the name of Makiel. So they live in a place called Quadra. Quadra is ruled by 4 different queens who each rule a different quadrant of Quadra. So to break it down, there's a little map at the beginning of the book with the queens' pictures. This might just be the Barnes & Noble book, but there we go. Okay. So the queens are Iris of Archia, which is like a farming type village over here. Then we have Margaret of Toria, which is right here. That's where most of the action takes place. Then there's Stessa, who's the queen of Ludia, which is right here. It's like Martyr Girl all the time there. And then there's Cora of Ionia, which is right here. Ionia. So these 4 queens, they all rule from this one centralized palace in how do I pronounce this place? Toria. So they all rule from this palace in Toria. And premise of the story is the queens are being murdered one by one. The first one to go is Iris, and then it kind of starts moving from there. I think the second one is Cora, then it is Stessa, then Margaret. So yeah, Kira Lee is a pickpocket or dipper. She's the apprentice of Makiel. He sends her to steal a comm chip from a courier, like a messenger. And the book does a lot of telling, but no showing. So basically, all it says is that she bumps into the dude. He asks, is she alright? She says, yeah, and she out. It doesn't tell you how she stole it from him. Just, hi, bye, I'm out. So we're led to believe that she is this world-renowned, first-class pickpocket that no one knows pickpockets things. But we don't actually see any of her skills. We just hear it. Like the author just tells us. Like if I tell you I have a Lamborghini, you don't see my Lamborghini. I never show you my Lamborghini. But I say I have a Lamborghini and you're just expected to believe that I have a Lamborghini. I don't have a Lamborghini. I'm broke. I don't have no money, y'all. So anyway, she ends up stealing the comm chip from Varen. And so Varen goes looking for her to go get it back because it's a message for the queen, apparently, or he's been sent to the queens to deliver it. And no one knows that the queens are being killed off. They die over a period of, I believe, 2 days. And okay, I'm not even gonna go into really the plot of it because it's gonna be so spoilery, because there really isn't anything else to say that doesn't really spoil it. I mean, okay, love triangle alert. From right off the bat, right, like when you're, like, I think the first paragraph where you're listening to Kira Lee speak, you find out that she's in love with Makiel. So there's no even seeing the love develop. There's no seeing anything between the two of them. Right off the bat, she makes it very clear that she's in love with him. And then, of course, she falls in love with Varen, who is Machiel's polar opposite. Machiel's supposed to be this roguish, bad boy. Handsome, but mean. Evil, but a gentleman. Whereas Varen is supposed to be this by-the-book, kind of rigid, good guy. So our love triangle has formed. She's going to choose the bad guy or the good guy. And yeah, if you want to read spoilers about it, you can go to 10minutebookreviews.com and you'll find spoilers there. Yeah, 10 like TIN minute MINUTE book BOOK reviews.com. You'll find spoilers there, but basically the author did a poor job at writing this. It was supposed to be feminist centered, like feminist heroes, feminist queens, feminist hero. And okay, so the hero is being manipulated and mind controlled by a man, by Machiel, and the queens, all these four strong queens are being murdered. It's like, okay, there's a romance between Cora and Iris. So this chick and this chick, there's a romance between the two of them. How do we know there was a romance? Do we hear them speaking lovingly towards each other? Do we see any moments between them? No. The author just tells us that there is a romance between the two of them. And they both end up dying. So both queer queens are dead. Then Stessa, the girl who lives in the land of Mardi Gras, or from the land of Mardi Gras, she has a romantic relationship with her advisor, because they all get an advisor from the land that they came from. She has a romantic relationship with him, but do we get to see any sweet moments or anything from them? No, we don't. We don't get to see that. Because the author just tells us, and then the woman dies. Most of the reading is basically of Kira Lee saying how much she loves Machiel, how much she's falling in love with Varen, even though she's trying to play him for Machiel, and oh, how good of a pickpocket she is, even though we don't actually see it, we just read that she is. Even when you're following her through her doing her pickpocketing or her thievery, you don't get to see it. So a good example of getting to see someone do something is the Gilded Wolves. When Severin and Enrique went to steal from the guild, you felt the sense of urgency in that first chapter, because you could feel all of the guards around them, and the opulence of the people around them, and the grandeur of the setting, and the forged creatures ready to strike at any moment. Like, you could feel it. And so everything that Roshan Yachowski wrote, it showed you the skill that these people had to have in order to pull this off. And she wrote out what they were doing. Like, Severin moved slowly. Enrique was looking for a soft spot in one of the forged creatures, so you could see what's happening. In this book, it's like Carolee bumped someone, or Caroline bumped someone, and she walked away with the cum. It's like, come on now. Come on. There's some plot holes in this book that just didn't make sense. Okay, the comm chip that she stole, right? The whole premise behind comm chips is that you imprint specific memories on it. So I'll give you an example. I want to show my sister where I went on vacation. So I purchase a comm chip and I implant memories of myself going skydiving, right, onto the comm chip. Like, my memories are going onto this comm chip. Then I send it to my sister. She takes out the comm chip. She touches it, and she's able to see exactly what I saw, as if she was living the moment with me. So when Kira gets the comm chip and she touches it, like further on into the book, she touches the comm chip, and she sees the murders happening, right? Keep in mind, you imprint memories onto this chip, right? So she sees the murders happening. And she's like, oh no, whoever sent Varen with this chip must be the one who murdered the queens. Kira is the murderer. Kira's the murderer. Now, here's what doesn't make any sense. It was established in the book, right? That these are memories that you implant on this chip. She has no memory of ever committing these murders because she was being mind controlled, right? So if she is being mind controlled and she has absolutely no conscientious memory of committing these murders, how does she get the memory of committing the murders onto the chip? How did she manage to implant memories she didn't have? Because remember, in order to use this chip, it's not subconsciously putting memories onto it. You know, if I made one of these, it's not going to give my sister a dream of me and Leonardo DiCaprio. No, it's going to give her specifically what I implant onto it, which means it takes a conscientious act in order to imprint a memory on this chip. So if she cannot conscientiously remember committing these murders, how can she put memories she doesn't have on a chip? There's no explanation for this in the book. The author gives absolutely no explanation. We're just supposed to rock it out. Like, we're not even going to think that far ahead. We're just going to rock with it. And I understand the premise of the book. I understand that the queens had to die. But the characters are so thin. It's like you meet someone and you want to know more about them. I would have liked to know more about Iris. I would have liked to know more about Cora. Stessa seemed a little stuck up. And Margaret seemed to be a bit of a know-it-all. So those two I wasn't really concerned with. But I would have liked to have gotten to hear more from Iris and Cora. But the author gave us nothing in regards to them. There was no reason for us to care, basically, that these women were dead. The author gave us no conceivable reason to care that they died. Like, you know in Titanic when Jack and Rose, well, when Jack died, and I guess Rose nearly did, the director of the movie, the writer of the screenplay, gave us a reason to care about these characters' deaths or near deaths. You know, we were invested in them. You never get the chance to become invested in any of these queens to care that they died. And Kira comes off as kind of a Mary Sue type character, like, I can do anything, anywhere, always. And it's like, how? How are you doing this? It's like she wasn't a trained assassin, so how was she able to do all this? If this palace houses 4 queens, how did it not get shut down, like on complete lockdown, after the first queen was found with her throat cut? You know what I'm saying? Like, how did they not shut down the palace after they found Iris with blood leaking out of her throat and she's dead? We just gonna leave this place open so that they can start, you know, picking off the other queens? It was definitely not an accident. They could tell that it wasn't an accident. So, yeah. There's so many plot holes in this book that it becomes laughable. The whole premise of the book just becomes laughable. I believe it's a standalone because I can't imagine what a second book would have to offer. If there was a second book, I definitely wouldn't be picking it up. I recommend this book to no one. Absolutely no one. I don't know how it got 5-star reviews. I don't know if maybe the Barnes & Noble special edition with bonus epilogue is, you know, the crappier version of it and other people got a better version. I honestly don't know. And then there's like some fan art in the back. I guess this is Kira Lee and Varen. I don't really know who it is. I mean, it could be Machiel, but Machiel walks around like with a bowler hat like he's that guy Alex from Clockwork Orange, so. Yes, this book was horrible. I recommend it to no one. Yeah, don't really have much else to say about it. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like what you see, Bookends, please like and subscribe. And we will see you again for our next 10-minute book review next week, as well as our 10-minute check-ins that we do in between. Bye, guys.